Hello, my name is Stephen Davies. I'm a children's author, and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about a very special book set in a very special part of the world. It's set in West Africa. Now, if you travel south from England, then you go across the English Channel, you go down through France, you go down through Spain, across the Mediterranean Sea, and if you carry on south, then you arrive in Africa. And as you travel down through Africa, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter because you are entering the desert. In fact, not just any old desert, but the biggest hot desert in the entire world. I wonder if you know what that's called. It starts with an S. Sahara. You've probably heard of the Sahara Desert. And the Sahara Desert is a wonderful place. If you want to cross it, then you'll probably need one of these. Or at least, maybe not one of those, but maybe a full-size one to carry you across the desert, something a little bit like this. You'll see that man in the photo was wearing something particular on his head. I wonder what we'd call one of those. I've actually got one here. It's very long. This one's about 4.5 meters long. And it's called, in English we'd probably normally call it a turban. Now a turban is a very useful thing to have in the Sahara Desert. Usually when people wear it, they leave a little bit hanging down on the left. So they start off like this, putting it over their head, and then usually they wrap it 3 or 4 times around their neck, and then 3 or 4 times around their head, and then tuck it in at the side. And this provides some sort of protection from the hot sun, so that you don't get too much of a headache when you're traveling through the hot sand. And it's also very useful because sometimes in the desert there are sandstorms. Now, sandstorms are when a huge cloud of sand blows in from the east, and it gets in your ears, it gets in your eyes, it gets up your nose. It's really disgusting. So what you can do if you're wearing one of these is you take one of the flaps, maybe this one, and you can pull it right up over your nose and mouth and cheekbones. There you are. And it stops the dust going in your mouth and up your nose. And maybe if you've got sunglasses, you can even put those on to stop it going in your eyes. Or if you haven't got sunglasses, you can pull the flap all the way up and completely cover your face. Now, I can still see because it's very light outside. Even though you can't see me, I can still see you. So if I'm traveling through the desert, this is actually quite a good way to travel, completely protected from the sand. I've got a couple of other things from the desert with me. This is a Fulani hat. This is, if it's too hot for just a turban, then you can wear one of these, and people wear them on top of the turban. So you wear it a little bit like that, have the turban first, and then the Fulani hat, and that keeps you well protected from the sun. And I also have a little bit of fabric here. Now, this is just a normal kind of 1.5 meters length of African fabric. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind it into a circle. There you are. And then once you've got a circle, you kind of go in and out and in and out. And I'm going to ask my daughter to come and help me with this. So would you mind coming and putting this on? Okay. Say hello to everybody.
Hi.
Okay. This is just a circle of fabric to make the top of your head a little bit flatter. I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to take a bowl of milk that I specifically arranged earlier. So you stay there. And here is a very full bowl of milk, which I'm going to put on your head. So chin up a little bit. There you are. Keep it as steady as you can. Wow. How's that? You're not dropping it. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, you can actually walk. How does it feel?
It feels a bit heavy.
See if you can go all the way to the table and back. Don't spill the milk. And back quickly as you can. Fast, 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 fast. Excellent. Well done. Well, people in the desert and all over Africa, in fact, often carry things on their head instead of in their hands, because then the heaviness, the weight goes down through your body and it means that your arms don't get tired and your body doesn't get tired, and you can actually travel a long way with quite a heavy thing on your head. Now, I've written a book about a little girl traveling through the desert carrying something on her head. This is the book, and I'm going to read it for you now.
Okay.
So this book is called Don't Spill the Milk. It's written by me and illustrated by the fantastic illustrator Christopher Core, who does these huge, vibrant gouache paintings and then shrinks them down to book size. They're just full of colour and pattern and authentic African details. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this book. Sit back and relax and enjoy. Penda lived in a tiny village in Africa with her mum and her aunties. It was rainy season, so Penda's dad was up in the grasslands looking after the sheep. "Penda," said her mum one day, "I'm going to take a bowl of milk to Daddy. I'll be back this afternoon." "I know where the grasslands are," said Penda. "Let me take Daddy his milk. Please, please, please." "All right," said her mum, "but try not to spill any milk on the way." Penda ran to milk the cow. She filled a bowl, put it on her head, stood up, and began to walk. "Steady," Penda whispered to herself. "Gently does it, girl. Don't wiggle, don't wobble, don't try to rush it, girl." Penda picked a path across the uppy, downy dunes, past a caravan of camels and a flock of desert gins. "Don't slip, don't slide, girl, don't fall over, don't let a single droplet drop on the sand." It was the day of the rainy season mask dance. Penda wove her way amid a million dancing beasties. "Walk tall, walk steady, eyes on the horizon, girl. Don't even think about spilling any milk." The great river Niger was dark and wide. Penda took a ride in a stinky fishing boat. "Don't shiver, don't quiver, don't fall in the river, girl. Keep it on your head, girl. Milk don't float." 15 pale giraffes were stalking across the plains like 15 aliens on a dusty moon. "Don't look. Don't turn your head. Just walk on through. You're not at the zoo, girl. You've got work to do." Oh no, one final mountain looming high. Penda breathed in deep, and up she climbed. Left foot, right foot, never give up, girl. Left hand, right hand, all the way up now. At last Penda arrived at the grasslands. A flock of woolly sheep were munching grass, and there in the middle, chilling in the shade of a mango tree, sat Penda's dad. "Hi, Daddy!" "Hi, Penda! Nice to see you!" "I brought you some milk," said Penda. She took the bowl off her head, but just as she was passing it to Daddy, I wonder if you can guess what happens next. What do you think's going to happen? Will she spill it? If so, what will make her spill it? Or maybe she'll give it to Daddy just fine. What do you think? Have a little chat amongst yourselves. You may want to pause this video here for a chat. Okay, off we go again. She took the bowl off her head, But just as she was passing it to Daddy, splosh! A big fat mango landed right in the bowl, and Daddy's milk spilled everywhere. "I don't believe it," wailed Penda. "I carried that milk for miles and miles, over the dunes and across the river and up the mountain, and I didn't stop to watch the masked dance or the white giraffes because I didn't want to spill a single drop. And now look, it's all gone." Daddy gave Penda a big hug. "It's not all gone," he whispered. "There was more than milk in that bowl." "Huh?" said Penda. "It's true," said Daddy. "Your love for me was in that bowl as well. You carried it over the dunes and across the river and up the mountain. You carried it past the masked dance and the white giraffes. You brought it all the way up to the grasslands, and you gave it to me just fine. That bowl was full of love, girl, and it still is. You didn't spill a drop." Penda wiped away her tears. She pointed at the big fat mango. "I think it must be lunchtime," she said. "I agree," said Daddy. "As it happens, I prefer mango to milk any day." Daddy took a knife and cut the mango into 3 big juicy pieces. Penda ate the first piece. "Yummy," she said. Daddy ate the second piece. "Scrummy," he said. The third piece was still in the bowl. "For Mummy?" asked Penda. "That's right," said Daddy. "Tell her it comes with all my love." Well, you can see Penda setting off down the mountain there. The cat's still with her. Penda's not carrying milk anymore, of course. She's carrying that bit of mango, isn't she? And we can see she's going to go past the giraffes and past the river, the masked dancers, past the flock of jinns. You may know them as genies. Past the camels, up and down over the dunes, and all the way back to the village. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed that story. Let's listen to a little bit of music from Niger, from this part of the world, and then I've got some activities for you to do.
Well, there we are. I do hope that you enjoyed that story. Have a quick look again at the page where the father is waving goodbye to Penda and she's going off down the hill, and we'll see all of those same sights that she saw on her journey to the grasslands. And just imagine for a moment that she doesn't go back that way, but maybe chooses another way. Maybe she goes behind these dunes here and takes a completely different route back to her village. Have a think and imagine what sort of things might she see along the way. Maybe this time she doesn't see giraffes and camels and genies and masked dancers. Maybe she has a whole different set of adventures. And we could even imagine another book, couldn't we? We could make it a sequel, a second book for Don't Spill the Milk. And what should we call it? Maybe Don't Drop the Mango. Don't Drop the Mango. And we could do some more pictures and have some more words, some more adventures that Penda has on her way. Have a think now, maybe chat to a friend, and imagine amongst yourselves what sort of new adventures could she have. Now remember, we're in the desert, so she probably won't meet lions or tigers or monkeys or other animals that would live more in grasslands and forests. What sort of animals live in the desert? maybe some animals beginning with S. What else could happen to Penda? Well, we talked about sandstorms earlier, so maybe that's something that happens to her. What other adventures could she have? And be as imaginative as you like. Try to write a list maybe of different things that could happen to Penda on her way back. And then have a go together at writing Don't Drop the Mango. So this could be maybe a class activity or even something that you do on your own at home. You know how Penda looks. She's got this red and white stripy dress and the spotty top and beads in her braided hair. And the bowl can either be on her head or in her hands if she's just carrying the mango. And put her on every page. Show the adventure that she's having. And also use some words on the page to describe not just what's happening, but also how does Penda react to it? What does she say to herself to encourage herself as she goes along? And then you can decide whether or not Penda arrives at the village with the mango safely, or whether something happens to stop her. Have fun with it. I've really enjoyed chatting with you this morning. I hope you have a good day, and bye for now.